anxious. Maybe you're having nightmares about the coronavirus. Or maybe you don't care. Maybe you're blissfully unaware. They say ignorance is bliss. But I don't know about that. And the other word that has been on my mind recently is kind of an archaic term that we don't use anymore, but they used to talk about these mass infections, viruses that spread far and wide as plagues. In the Bible, it talks about plagues, and in most holy writings, there are prophecies about plagues that will descend on the earth. Could this be? I don't want to be alarmist. I don't want to be spreading panic. There's enough doom and gloom as it is. But is this a sign of the times? Are we entering a different era? Are we in the end times? I think every generation that there's been has always felt like, well, this is it. History stretches back further than you can imagine. We must be living in the end times. But I saw recently people speculating that maybe this coronavirus could infect up to 60% of the world's population. Could that really be the case? And we keep talking about, is there someone behind it? Are there people who have created this as some kind of a germ warfare? But there are people who have a depopulation agenda. And maybe the world is overpopulated. If you listen to the likes of Extinction Rebellion, they're forever telling us how much damage we are doing to the planet, and we are damaging the planet. Do we fit the definition of a parasite? Very literally, if you look at the definition of what a parasite is, do we fit that definition? And in the chat, we've got PSV Eindhoven, who's saying hi to Brian Cannot Tell, who's also in the chat. And Brian Cannot Tell saying, have to upgrade my computer to call international, but this is my topic. End times could take more lifetimes. Unjust to teach it is occurring tomorrow. Yeah, no one knows the hour, Brian Cannot Tell. I'm sure you would agree with that. But it is a fascinating subject, and whenever something like this happens, it's very tempting to go down that road. But maybe I'm just being alarmist. Maybe I'm playing into the hands of the people that want to divide us and make us panic. But yeah, there is definitely a depopulation agenda. And people like Hitler, for example, who killed millions of people, maybe in his mind, he thought the population of the world is out of control. In order to have a more manageable population, we need to cut down on numbers. And what would a smaller world population look like? A lot of the great ideas that we have, even communism, for example, as much as I've grown up on the left of politics, and there's much to be praised about a left-wing economy, about a centralized state economy, part of the problem why communism doesn't work is because it doesn't work on a mass scale. If you live in a small commune, something akin to the kibbutzim that you would find in Israel and in the early days of the Zionist state. There were much more kibbutzim, these small shared living areas where people worked the land and earned their keep and lived off the land and shared everything. This is one of the few places where communism has actually worked, and I think it can only work on a small scale. But has globalism failed us? China, with the world's biggest population, the country that had to install a one-child policy just so that it could get by, is it failing because it is too big? And not only is China massively overpopulated, vast areas of China are completely empty, are underpopulated. And I often wondered, how could it be a country has a problem with an overpopulation if it's just, we're all people living in the world, if you see what I'm saying. It shouldn't matter where you draw the lines. If there's enough food and enough resources in the world, which there is, no one should starve, no one should have any problem. But maybe China tried to govern too many people. Could that be the problem? Is that why resources are stretched too thin in China? Maybe we need to live in small local communities where we help each other, where we rely on each other. I was saying only the other day about mass corporations like McDonald's and why they don't work. It's because too many people will spread everything too thinly. The Roman Empire collapsed because it spread too thin. And Brian Cannot Tell is saying communism, communal living, community at root means small unit. And he adds, lived in 3 communes at different times. Always the community splits when it reaches a certain size. That's interesting, Brian Cannot Tell. I wonder where these communes were that you were living in. I wonder were you perhaps on a kibbutz or something similar. And Brian mentions that it always splits the community when it reaches a certain size. I wonder, what is the optimum size? How big can a tribe grow before it splits off, before you get 2 chiefs and a rivalry and you get a mutiny? Bees work perfectly in harmony in a hive with the worker bees and the queen bee. But you know what happens when you get 2 queen bees? You have a swarm. So maybe that's the problem. And maybe we don't need a depopulation agenda. Maybe we just need to downsize the communities that we live in and work in and interact with. Or can the world become one big community? Can we really have a new world order that some people are after? And I get the sense that the people who want the new world order are the same people with that depopulation agenda. We talk about the 1%. Maybe it's less than 1%. But and we always hint at it being some kind of evil plan. I mean, New World Order conjures up all kinds of negativity and is synonymous with terms like the Illuminati, the illuminated ones. The Illuminati was actually a real secret society, but the term is now sort of interchangeable with any kind of hidden agenda, a plot to rule the world, but maybe these people are just striving for the greater good. Could it be? Let me know what you think, Brian. If only you had an international number, you could call us on +44 7491 751 203. And I can't wait for Brian to get his live stream back up and running, because he's got a lot of wisdom to share. And Brian is mentioning about the communes that he lived on. No, sir. Hippie commune, Summertown, TN, Red Rock, Colorado, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Never seen one over 30 family units. Usually 10 or 12 family. And that's interesting. He counts it by family units rather than numbers of people. And I wonder what are the rules for joining these communes, Brian? Can anyone just pitch up and join? Do you have to be a family? Surely you would need to ensure an even number of men and women, I would imagine. And this is the thing. Yeah, our modern era thinks of the unit of measurement of population being the number of people, the number of individuals, and really maybe the number of family units is a more accurate way of measuring population. And families used to function as a unit of production, and then they became a unit of consumption. Families in the earlier times of our history would make things, would produce things, would own farms, would produce food, and then we went on to sell it for profit, and then we industrialized, and we became a unit of consumption, and the family became about what can I have, what can I eat, what can I consume. An interesting exercise one can do is to make a diary of your consumption for the day, for the week. And that's not just everything you eat and drink, but everything you consume in the form of media. What are you putting into your brain? What message are you receiving? You will be consuming things that you do not even realize. At a subconscious level, you are consuming advertising. You are watching videos. Even when you watch my video and you click skip ad after 5 seconds, for 5 seconds you are consuming that advertising. And it always amazed me. I could never understand how it is advertising generates revenue. How is it that ITV and other such channels can afford to put on a complete television show just from the funding that comes from advertising? That tells you the power of advertising, and that's why they've got a bigger budget than, for example, the BBC, that charge us an extortionate £100 a year plus just to have a TV in our room, whether we watch it or not. But we've opened the phone lines and we've got a caller on line one. Good evening.
It's like
and who's this?
It's like the great George Galloway once said.
Oh,
the gay man and the straight man will never get along until one of them is defeated.
Well, I think you might be paraphrasing George Galloway. I wouldn't want to put words in his mouth. George Galloway's actually done a lot for the LGBTQ community. And
has he?
Yes, he has. But welcome to the airwaves. Who is this?
This is the one and only co-host, ready to steal your woman and your show, Saj.
You can steal the show. I thought he was Riz for a minute. You're welcome, Saj. You're welcome anytime. We are
live.
There's rumours that you're starting a spin-off series.
Yeah, well, basically,
What's the
we
news?
had a lot of great feedback. Don't know why, but we got a lot of great feedback from a lot of sanely disturbed individuals on the viewers platform, and they said that once you grab the balls, the ball, you run with it.
Yeah. So you've got the ball
And
at the moment. The ball is in
basically,
your
I'm
court.
looking to take. So I'm looking to take this Sag character. Now we're going to get the copyrights, but we're looking at Sag and Onion
Sag and
as
onion,
the
because of your love of crisps.
no, because of my love for onions.
Okay, Sag and onion.
And basically, on this platform, we're looking to bring exclusive content of interviews with guests that have failed in life.
Okay, so you're not
And
going.
instead of doing the upstanding thing of trying to bring them up and bring some confidence inside them, we're gonna mock them on air together. We're gonna laugh at the situation. And I shouldn't really be saying this because someone might take this
Well,
idea.
look, I'm sure you're going to do it in your own way, and you'll do it better than anyone else.
Yeah, but sometimes you get the old pigeon that's lurking in the chat and he just runs away with the crumbs, and he decides to make it a show.
It does happen. Someone asked me about your constant references to crisps, and they did say,
Okay.
Is it code for something else? Are you secretly? So is there a hidden message there, or is it what you see is what you get?
Well, that would be telling.
Okay.
I don't kiss and
You're a very, very.
I don't kiss and tell, but I do slap on the butt.
You're a cryptic guy. But are you going
so
down
what's the subject tonight?
Well, look, I've been. Well, God, the coronavirus keeps coming up. But I was just talking about everything that we consume.
These guys talk about anything else, for God's sakes. The most only thing in the news, and they're like, let's talk about that.
Because that's how we're programmed, and even.
No, we must talk about stuff like, like not caring about recycling. How about that?
Not caring about recycling.
Yeah, but who's got time to care? There's bins out there. If someone decides to put in the bin, they do. If they don't, then they don't.
Do you think? And here's something. If we go deep on this. If the end of the world is written, right? Do you believe that?
Yeah.
End times. And I was saying tonight about whether we're in the end times because we've got the coronavirus and there's plagues and about the signs, right? The signs.
Yeah. Like the signs. Yeah. Let's get on to the signs.
Does that make you reluctant to listen to the likes of Greta Thunberg saying that the world's going to end because the world's going to end when the world's going to end?
Yeah. You like your pizza thin or thick crust?
Do I like what?
Your pizza thin or thick crust?
Well, when I'm in Pizza Express in Woking, I normally order a thin. I would go thin. I think I'd go thin. It doesn't need to be any thicker than it needs to be.
Oh, okay. And you like chickens, onion, peppers. What do you like on there?
I do enjoy a pizza that has a bit of chicken on it, but not everywhere does that. I think pizza connoisseurs don't like that. They see chicken as not really a key pizza ingredient.
Yeah, but if it's tandoori chicken, then it's all right.
Yeah, and just make sure it's killed in the right way, or it's meat belonging to the Jews or Christians, which is halal, as you know.
Oh, so basically, do you like your garlic sauce in a dip, or you like it actually spread it on the pizza?
No, I like it in a dip. I like to be in control. I want that to be my decision. How garlicky the pizza gets.
And how much slices can you have of a 12-inch?
Of a 12-inch, I could easily manage a half plus
Is it?
1 more eighth. What's that? 5/8.
16.
I could have 5/8 of a 12-inch. Since you ask.
Yeah, and then you like to have, like, what drink you like to have? Water, orange juice, pineapple, guava, mango. What are we looking at?
We're so spoilt for choice, aren't we? We're so spoilt for...
Wow.
Isn't that, I think that's a problem. That can be a blessing or a curse. In this modern age, sometimes it is better to just keep it simple.
Well, I've been drinking water. I'm a water connoisseur for like about 12 years now, and people give me a hard time. As you've even given me a hard time about.
I have. I admit that. No, I think it.
And the thing is, it's like your body is designed for that, you know.
Yeah. What did you notice a change when you? So look, you used to drink fizzy drinks, yeah?
Who, me?
Yeah. 12 years ago.
Probably not even 12 years ago. Probably about 15, 16 years. How old am I now? 30? Probably about 15, 16.
So for a long time, you've been on a water-only diet when it comes to drink, yeah?
Yep. And
do you ever try something else?
Never.
Never.
You've seen it yourself, and I've been in a position where, like, I've been at someone's wake. Obviously, the guy was dead; he wasn't awake.
Yes, this is the celebration after the funeral, yeah, or before the funeral, rather.
Yeah, but they call it a wake, but the guy's dead. I never understood that.
Well, it's in the wake of his death, I believe, isn't it? Like after he's passed.
Yeah, but he's not awake though, is he? He's dead.
No, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know the etymology, but yeah, okay. So you tried a different drink.
Walking around with Coke and stuff, you know what I mean? And you're like, oh God, really? And then it feels like you're in a position where it's rude to say no. But then I've always said no. But then once I tried a little sip just to see if it, and it was horrible. I mean, when I mean sip, I meant like a tiny. I felt all the sugar, all the bubbles, everything come back to me. That horror that I once felt hit me again, and I just decided to think, "Wow, I'm so glad I don't drink this stuff."
Wow. So you tried fizzy drink at a party, and it was that bad.
Because you get off it for so long, and you just know that sugar and that sense.
This reminds me of what you said about trying the fillet of fish over after a long time, when the salt hit your tongue.
Yeah, the salt hits your tongue, but like
hits the back of your throat.
With the McDonald's, like, you gotta give it its just due. That's real food right there. Coke isn't real food, you know, or real drink.
A lot of people say, well, you often read articles about, if these things happen to your body when you give up fizzy drinks or whatever it is. When you switch to only water, did you notice anything difference in your skin, in your energy? I know it's a long time ago now. Did you notice any difference in your energy levels?
My skiing has improved. I can do big jumps now.
No, your skin. Not your skiing. I know you love a bit of skiing. I know you love a bit of downhill.
Pardon me.
That's all right.
Pardon me. Well, basically, my skin has...
your complexion.
Has it? No, because I think what it is my greasy oil fetish has increased to subsidize for the drink. So basically, there's signs of improvement, yes. And in a water-only diet, you feel like, you feel amazing because you know you can look inside your stomach and there's an ocean and a sea of pure water in there, you know?
And our bodies are 80% water. But I think because you've been off the fizzy drinks for so long, if you go back to it, you'll have a bad reaction. Whereas the rest of us are used to it. We're accustomed, you know?
Yeah, it's a horrible feeling. I still remember that tangy feeling. And if you was to drink water all the time and then you had like a sardine or something, the sardine technically would still be alive in your body because the water's there.
Yeah, they do that sometimes. They do offer some live fish.
And what's your favourite fish? Sardines or cod?
I'm glad you specified it. God, everything's got to be so precise with you. Sardines out of a tin. Are we talking tin sardines in tomato
Yeah, with
ketchup?
tomato sauce.
I remember I used to have that for lunch with a pita bread. That was a very meager
That's
lunch I
exactly
used to
what I
make
do
myself.
every day.
Hey?
Yeah, that's strange. I do that still to this day with 3 pita breads and 2 cans of sardines and fish. Flip it over, whack it back it a bit, get it a little bit tensed and fragile. Handle with care, put it in the plate, and there you go.
How far do you open the tin of sardines?
Oh, about a 75%.
Okay, I'm a 2/3 guy. But
Well, kind of, yeah, 2/3 if we're
some
talking
people
centimeters.
will try to open it all the way, and then you've got the inevitable snap at the end, and you know it's going to flick tomato sauce everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's like, who designs this? It's like when you have the crisp packet and you're having it, you're eating it, and then sometimes you're like, hold up a second, why is this lacking flavor?
All the flavours down the
whole
bottom.
crisp packet. It's because it's like has someone in the factory taken the day off, or is he taking it? You know, was he in a rush to go home? Did he just drop it and leave it how it was? Do you know what I mean? And then sometimes you get the crisp that you munch, and then there's like a lot of flavor in there. You're like, oh, that person must have been doing overtime or taking real care when he was making them crisps. You know.
This goes back to my revulsion against mass-produced food, drink, whatever it is. You were mocking me the other day, saying, why are you going to buy from a local seller? He's not going to drive a Bentley because you bought a crisp packet from him. But we desire unique things, right? Factory produced, mass produced crisp packets, they're all exactly the same. Yet you delight in finding a unique one with a bit of extra flavour in it. Have you ever had a chocolate biscuit, right? Where the chocolate has accidentally been put on the wrong side of the digestive?
I mean, it's been a while since
I know you're not really a chocolate guy, but about 1 in 1,000 biscuits is chocolated on the wrong side. And that's like a collector's item, you know?
Well, this girl I used to know her uncle used to work in the condom factory,
Right.
and he used to pin holes in the condoms.
Because he wants more people to be born, or what?
Because it's an evil fed by his ancestors, the illuminated ones.
Very strange, very strange. But yeah, I think mass production. Look, where would you rather eat? In a chain restaurant or in a unique family-run business? Doesn't it put you off when you find out something is a chain?
Because family businesses rip you off.
No, they charge more because they're better value.
But then there's just the guy's gonna be driving around in a Bentley laughing at you the next day.
No, you helped him. Look, do you tip when you go to a restaurant, Saj? Do you leave a tip? Are you a leave a tip kind of guy?
No, because the thing is, the only tip I leave them is to get a better job.
So you don't leave 10 to 15% of the bill if you go to a nice.
Oh, you mean that tip? I thought you were on about him and tips.
No. A commission, a service charge.
No, because the majority of restaurants charge you an arm and a pencil, and you're like, really? Like, I've got to pay for all this? And then you're like, hell no. And then sometimes the service isn't great enough to be tipped.
Well,
Now,
sometimes service is included. The more that we've gone towards card payment, the harder it is to actually get the cash into the hand of the waiter or waitress that you're trying to appreciate.
Yeah, but you get the odd Iranian guy, waiter keeps coming up to you.
You give him a backhander at the end of the night.
That sounds gay.
Well, I just mean you add a bit on top
of
the bill. To show your
Oh, the
appreciation.
bill.
To show
Okay,
your
I thought he
appreciation.
was talking about his bill.
No. The service, the bill. What's another word for the bill?
Oh, the bill.
What do they call it in America?
Isn't it? Are we talking shows?
The check. The check.
Soaps.
Check, please.
Oh, okay.
But all right.
What's your favourite soap?
Are we talking cleaning soap or TV?
However you want to take it.
EastEnders, but I haven't watched it since Frank Butcher died.
Okay, and what about actual soap?
I don't know. Name.
Imperial leather.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Croissants. It gets, when it gets smaller and smaller, you start to get sad because you know that it's ending.
Sorry, Sarge, I've got to go. My favourite soap is on TV.
Oh, wow. Let me freestyle to that.
Oh, you going in? Are you going in?
Yeah.
All right, wait. Pull up my...
Play the beat.
Rewind. Oh, do you want the old one or the new one?
Either one.
You're in.
Yo, this is Lessons for Life. All you kids watching out there. Barbecue ribs. Got the crisps. Got the crisps. I twist like a spiral. You know about me, I'm about to go viral. Yeah. I eat the Cheetos. Throw them outside. I eat the Cheerios. I ate them today. I waited for them to get soggy in the plate.
Good. 40 seconds, keep going.
I ain't soggy the wires. I hit you up like I don't give a damn, boy. This ain't guns and governors. This ain't Riz. I handle my biz. I steal your kids, take the ransom, and then come back to you for 5 millions.
Bring it home now. Here comes the whistling bit.
Oh, damn.
Go on, Saj. That's Lessons for Life. Wow. Never thought you could go to EastEnders theme tune.
Yo, check this out. I had a story to tell, actually.
Go on then. I want to go back to my tipping thing, but yeah, go on. Tell us a story.
I'll go back to your tipping thing, yeah.
All right, then we'll do the story, yeah?
Yeah.
You don't tip. You said you don't tip. It would have worked better if you said that you did. But a lot of people tip, right?
I have when it's been like it has to really impress
if they really push the boat out.
You know? Yeah.
If they really went the extra mile, you know.
Yeah.
Do you haggle in the marketplace? Do you say
yes,
£10, no, £7, oh, £8, okay, 9, we have a deal?
Yeah.
You engage in a bit of that, yeah? Bit of bartering, bit of haggling. Marvin Haggler.
Well, I tried to, but I'm not a good haggler. My brother's better at that.
Oh, really? Well, so they say £100, you say 99, and they say deal.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're not a shrewd. You've got to go halfway down. If they say 100, you've got to say no 50.
Yeah.
Because they always start with double, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm told.
I mean, I'm going back to Brian Canatelli.
Yeah.
Cannot tell.
Yeah.
He wrote, I do like my tea in my water unsweet. Now that's interesting because I have green tea on the odd occasion, which is, I guess, different to water, but it's very rare and it has nothing in it. Green tea.
All right. So you're admitting now that you have green tea. Pleb enforcement in the chat is saying start hoarding. Chinese released new numbers and they are beyond horrific. It's all doom and gloom out there. But you are admitting here now that you have a green tea now and then. Okay.
Have you seen the video of the Chinese kids getting attacked by white people?
No. What country is that?
England.
Really? Wow, that's very sad.
Andrew Sturgeon wrote, any suggestions are welcome.
Oh, there you go. Very kind. Very kind.
But you know what the thing is, going back to it, so these kids was picking on, no, see it. So they were saying go back to China and all of this racist stuff. Now I was speaking to a friend of mine, Z Lawler. She said to me that this is the way. She goes, I feel embarrassed to be a white person sometimes.
You asked her?
Well, she said to me, she goes, this is the reason why I feel embarrassed to be a white person. Ever since Brexit, this country's become so racist and so vile.
Well, has it become racist, or are we just more aware of it? I mean, what?
I mean, racism has always, the foundation of countries was built on racism. These lands were built on racism. The racism is going to be the fundamental belief in the core of these countries, I believe. They're always going to be inside these countries, Western countries anyway, mostly.
Well, the concept of the nation state is only 100 years old or so. And originally,
when people say speak English in this country, but at the end of the day, do they speak Spanish when they go to Spain?
Very true. And the English language has got influences from Latin languages such as Spanish. It's got influence of French and Germanic languages. So languages are always evidence of the melting pot. Everyday words we use will come from different languages. Bungalow, I believe, it comes from Hindi. I know you can speak some Asian languages. I don't know if you can recognize that as a word that you would understand, but bungalow, I believe, is an Indian word. And sandal is also an Asian word. There's many words we use. Even tea came from the subcontinent. A drink as English as tea. So we're all part of the melting pot. But the nation state, in its inception, was meant to follow ethnic lines. But really, we are beyond that now. And you can have a civic nationalism whereby someone can be a British citizen regardless of their heritage, but we all have some kind of shared values and a shared multicultural identity along with our own ethnic identity, and that you don't need to conflate the two. You don't have to say you have to be white and English to be British. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Just as in Pakistan, you can be Pathan, you can be Punjabi, you can be Sindhi, you can be Kashmiri, yet you're all Pakistani.
Yeah.
And I think we just have to promote this sort of idea and accept that we've got many, many layers to our identity, and part of that used to be as a member of the European Union, but we're still geographically in Europe. We haven't gone anywhere. We've just left an economic arrangement and made other ones with other countries. And in a way, when I was at the Brexit celebrations, you did see some of the people saying, how can this be racist if we're reaching out to other parts of the world beyond Europe? But it all depends on the way you look at it and your intention behind it, I suppose. But I hope your friend doesn't feel
you
too
ever
ashamed.
like that green that comes with the lamb doner? You like it?
The green,
Yeah.
is it spicy?
It's like a juicy. It's eatable, but it's like a weird. It's just like put on the side of the lamb doner box.
You know when you get a biryani, funny enough, you know when you get a biryani,
Yeah.
why do they always give you that vegetable one as well?
Vegetable.
Every time I get a chicken or lamb biryani, I get like a tub of some vegetable-based sauce type thing that I never really use anyway.
Oh, they do that.
Yeah, that's just something I've noticed. But I want to go back to my tipping question.
Yeah.
Why do people tip the 5-star restaurant that is making millions per year? They want to give them more, and when they go to the market and they buy from the fruit seller who's just making enough to get by from selling his fruit, they want to haggle and they want to give him less. Why do we give the
That's
rich
because-
man more and the poor man less?
That's because that man isn't an establishment. He's just a guy at the corner, you know?
Well, shouldn't we be helping him up?
No, we should be kicking him down.
Oh, Saj, you're just... what is it? You're cruel.
Yeah?
Why are you such a cruel guy? Why are you so ruthless?
Because the thing is, like, I love to see a man down, you know?
Yeah. Is that how you...
Yeah.
Is that how you build yourself up? The other one is when you're in the supermarket and they trying to give you the change, and then they say, "Oh, have you got a penny?" Who's got more pennies to give, me or Sainsbury's? They should be giving me the penny.
Oh, yeah. That's a tricky one.
They should be saying, "It's on. Don't worry, it's on the house. Don't mention it."
Yeah. Yeah, well, the thing is like, these big establishments, like, they deserve that tip because they need to grow, you know?
Oh, they're already grown. But yeah, here's another question: Why do they price things like £1.99, £2.99, £3.99?
Because, yeah, there's, it's strange because, like, places like Iceland, I like about them is they do whole prices, like 350, 250, 150, £1.
Do they? They round it up.
Yeah, they round it
I
up.
respect that because then it's like they're not trying to con you.
Oh, is that what you think? Yeah, but
Well,
really?
if you say something is £4.99, are you trying to say what it's under a fiver? Are you trying to make me think? Do you look at that and think, "Whoa, it's only £4.99"?
Yeah.
We know it's £5. What is it? A psychological trick or what? And when it's bigger prices, it's like you can always get a car for 4,995. Yeah, it's £5,000, and they're giving you a fiver. But is that psychological? I see the number 4. Oh, it's £4,000. It really is £5,000.
Yeah. Well, that's the
It must
thing,
work, or
like,
they wouldn't do it.
yeah. I mean, like, it's kind of like sending a naked picture to yourself of yourself, you know? Is that really you?
Does that work for you?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I send it to me, then I get shocked at myself. Because seeing myself in picture format naked rather than in the mirror is a difference.
Well, it's not a mirror. It's not a mirror image, but there is another. What was the other question I wanted to ask you? Oh no, yeah. There's another theory on why it's £1.99, £2.99, £3.99.
Yeah.
Okay. If you charge £5 exactly for something in Sainsbury's, then the person behind the till could take the £5, crisp £5 note, give you the item, and just put the fiver in their pocket. They wouldn't need to open the till. Is that £4.99 so that they have to open the till? Why do tills make a noise when they open?
Yeah, well, okay, I ain't gonna lie, I'll tell you a story now.
Go on then.
Back in the days when I worked in Sainsbury's, I was feeling a bit iffy one day, and I stole a £50 note out the till whilst I was on it.
No, Saj, you shouldn't have said that. They're going to find you now. You worked for Sainsbury's.
Sorry, Sainsbury's. Sorry.
Sainsbury's, okay.
Sainsbury's, and basically what had happened was basically what had happened is, what was we talking about? Sorry, I got amnesia sometimes.
You just admitted that you stole from Sainsbury's. £50.
Sainsbury's, get it right, Sainsbury's.
I think the police are onto you, Saj.
Sainsbury's. No, but this is what happened. I didn't really steal because I gave it back. So basically, I was at the till and I stole. I was a young guy, you know. I stole it, right? And I put the £50 in my sock.
Yeah, go on, Sarge. It's all right.
I put the £50 in my sock, right?
Yeah.
And I was nervous and shit, you know, looking around and shit. And I was like, oh wow, like, damn, like, you know, I need to put this back. So my nerves got the better of me, you know. But my temptation fulfilled my desire at the time, you know.
So, did someone give you the note and you took it from the till, or you put it in your pocket from the customer?
No, I think I just took it out the till after I served the customer. Like,
But think about it. Why does the till make a noise when it opens?
Ah.
Ka-ching! Why does it need to make a noise? We all know that it makes a noise when it opens, but why? Why is that there?
Yeah.
It's so
But then
people
why
can
does
watch the till, so the employer can watch his employee and make sure they're not got their hand in the till.
When you put the PlayStation on, why does that make a noise?
Why does the what make a noise?
The PlayStation console.
Well, if you got one of those rumble packs, remember when the controller would vibrate when you got killed or whatever.
Yeah.
To increase the enjoyment.
Why, when I take off my underwear, my balls vibrate?
That is something none of us can answer. I don't know. One of life's mysteries. But look, Sanj, when will your new channel be up and running? And then the people that enjoy your take on things, they can enjoy you all they want.
Well, me and my failed business partner are looking into it right now. I mean, me and my failed business partner are just going over the key elements and what's in it for us and how do we approach this ever-growing market of YouTube. I mean, we don't want to get lost in the source, but sometimes in YouTube, you could be watching, I don't know, you could be watching Jeremy Corbyn's speech, and all of a sudden a suggestion that's so silly, like that a SpongeBob SquareDance mashup, and then you just click on that.
Yeah, there is a lot of
category. We want to be lost in the source, so someone could be watching a total video that's irrelevant to what we're trying to put out there, and for them to click on us and to get involved. Now, where would we make this channel reach? We're trying to make it reach at least 16 subscribers and at least 25 views.
By the end of the year, yeah? By the close of the financial year.
Yes.
Which I don't know when that is. All right, Saj. Well, I think the police are coming for you, so you better get on the run. But thank you for getting in touch, and we will do it.
Thank you, everyone, for listening.
We'll do it all again soon. That was Saj. Thank you very much. Thank you. There he goes, and you can catch him on his new channel. But in the chat, we have got Brian Cannot Tell still there. And it's all doom and gloom about the coronavirus, close to 155,000 confirmed illnesses, 25k dead. And, Safe Sky is saying 99p is draw you in con. Yeah, maybe. But I still think it's also possibly to make sure that the workers have to open the till. That things like the noise in the till, we just accept it and we never know why it's there. A bit like the way they add the smell to the gas so that you can tell if you've left your gas on at home. There's so many things and this is what I said earlier on about make a diary of what you are consuming. And then you'll understand why people pay good money to go and sit in an isolation tank, because it is almost impossible to get away from the messages that we are being inundated with. And I'm victim of it as much as anyone else, as much as I try and be a free thinker, I end up talking about the coronavirus, which I've been programmed to talk about. Do I know that it's happening? Am I a doctor? Have I seen any evidence of it myself? No, I've just heard things and repeated them like a parrot. And I've seen people wearing the face mask. By the way, the face mask, if you're looking to protect yourself from the coronavirus, is something of a myth. The face masks, the cotton face mask, medical face masks that people wear, were designed not to protect the wearer from infection. They were designed for doctors to wear to protect their patients from possible infection from them. So it's a bit of a misnomer if you're going down the paranoid route of covering up and clothing up. I know people were saying, oh, look how China mocked the face covering that some people wear, and then they ended up having to wear a face covering themselves. The face covering doesn't actually protect you much from an airborne virus. It is to protect people from you. But then again, it's all this sort of self-centered perspective that we have on everything. Is it protecting us from them, or are we protecting them from us? I don't know. But yeah, hopefully, may God preserve us all from whatever viruses or plagues are on the way. HK's Documentaries is in the chat saying evening, peace all. Peace unto you. Also HK's Documentaries, and that's another channel that's well worth checking out. So we're going to wrap it up there. It's been a good chat. Thank you for listening to Saj, who has a new channel on the way. And this one will keep going. We're still doing our thing, getting as many live streams as we can. I appreciate anyone who gets in touch. The email, as ever, is lessonsforlife247@gmail.com. Anything you want to talk about, drop me a line. And peace and blessings to you all, especially Brian Cannot Tell with his wonderful optimism, as always. HK's Documentaries, missed it, don't worry. You can always watch the replay. It'll be up there forever. It's been Lessons for Life. It's been fun. We'll do it all again soon. We were here. We're gone. Latest.